Okay then. So in the last session we have discussed about some constructors of string class, and also we have discussed about some there are many methods, but most probably these are the methods that we come across very often. So you have to use these methods very often, such as like charAt method, concat method, equals ignore case, and isEmpty method, and you have length method, and replace method. So there are 13 prominent methods that you will come across very often. So I want to understand how we can understand all these methods. Okay, most of these methods, how can we understand this? By using a simple application. So when I say simple application, it is just a backend application, and my requirement is going to be right. So it's very simple, guys. My application is going to be like it will accept the city name from the end user. So it is like my application is like it accepts city name from the end user, and after consuming the city name, so the application has to display what? The application has to display a kind of welcome message. A welcome message needs to be displayed. However, welcome message needs to be displayed to the end user. Okay, however, my application is going to accept. Okay, my application is going to welcome people from 3 different cities. What are they? So my application is going to welcome people who are from Chennai. It is going to welcome people who are from Hyderabad, and it is also going to welcome people who are from Bengaluru. Right? If there is any other city name apart from these 3, if there is any other city name, right? So we need to display a message like please enter a valid city name. Okay, we can learn a lot of things here. Please enter the valid city name. So this is a requirement. Okay, based upon the requirement, based upon this requirement, I have already designed a logic for this particular requirement. Okay, what my logic says. So whenever the end user is using this application, it has to ask the end user to enter the city name. First requirement, it has to ask the end user to do what? To enter the city name. Okay, so end user will see. Okay, because every time whenever you're developing a Java application, it's your responsibility to connect with the end user with the valid message. Yes or no? When the end user is opening the application, okay, the message that you're trying to display to the end user should be meaningful or should be understandable, right? So what is the message that you want to display? Enter your city name. If you want, you can optimize this further. How you can optimize this? You can say, hey user, can you please enter your city name? It depends upon how you want to communicate with the end user. Okay, so then end user will get to know, okay, you need to enter something, right? So to read data from the end user, we are going to do what? We are going to use this scanner class. You know this already. This scanner class will help us to read data from the end user. Second thing. Okay, so after reading the data from the end user, for example, let us say that the end user is entering something like city Chennai. Okay, you need to store this information, isn't it? You need to store this information. How we are going to store this information? This city name is in the form of string, right? So for that, in order to store the information that is submitted by the end user, you are going to use this slide, which is what you are going to use your own variable name city, right? And this variable name is of what type? String data type, right? So this line will ensure that the city is collected from the end user, and that particular city will be stored in the variable city itself. This sc.nextLine, okay, this sc is connected to the scanner object. So by using the scanner object, right, by using the scanner object, you are calling the method called nextLine method. This nextLine method will ensure that the information is collected from the end user. Okay, end user can what is the information that has been entered by the end user? Chennai. Okay, so Chennai will be stored in a memory, and this is going to be what? City. This is referred with the variable name, city variable name, and when the end user is entering the city name as Chennai, that Chennai is going to get stored in the variable of what? City itself, because you are using the variable name city here in this line, especially this line. Okay, so scanner class is used to read the data from the end user. After reading, what we have to do? We have to store that somewhere in the variable, right? What variable you are going to use? You are going to use the city variable, right? And this scanner object and .nextLine method will ensure that the information is collected securely and getting stored in the variable city itself. Right now, the end user has successfully entered the information. After entering this information, what you are going to do? Okay, so this is the data that you have collected successfully from the end user, which is Chennai. You need to check. Okay, you are writing some conditions because your application is designed in such a way that depending upon the city that was entered by the end user, okay, and you are going to display the welcome message. If the end user is entering Chennai, you would just say welcome to Chennai. Or if end user is entering Hyderabad, you would just say welcome to Hyderabad. If the end user is entering Bengaluru, you would just say welcome to Bangalore. Apart from these three cities, if the end user is entering some other city, you would do what? You would say please enter the valid city. Right? So if I ever had to design the program like this, I will encounter a lot of issues. I will encounter what? I will encounter a lot of issues. I need to take care of each and every issue. Each and every issue could be called as a bug. I will encounter a lot of, you will see what are the issues that we are going to encounter. Okay, so I have already written this code in the program. Right now you see, guys, now you see. So let us run this. Okay, let me maximize this for the better view. Let me run this. So it is asking me to enter the city name. Right, I am entering Chennai, and it is giving me welcome to Chennai. Okay, no issues. And again, if I am running this code. Okay, this is my application. So end user is reading this information. End user has read this information. Enter city name. Oh, end user thinks, okay, I want to enter the city name. Okay, now end user is entering what? Hyderabad. Right. So this information, okay, this information will be collected and stored in the variable city. Right. And there are three conditional check. Okay, and it will check for the matching if else condition. Okay, this condition is matching. So this line is matching. Okay, if the city.equals Hyderabad itself, okay, this code needs to get executed. So output has to be what? Welcome to Hyderabad, isn't it? Hyderabad, welcome to Hyderabad. Okay, if the person is trying to enter what? Bengaluru. Okay, welcome to Bangalore. So no issues. If the person is trying to enter any other city apart from this three, Pune, please enter the valid city. So far good. Okay, now see what happens. The problem with this code is the end user, okay, can enter the city name according to his wish. He can either enter the city name in the uppercase letter or in the lowercase letter. See, now the end user has enter the city name in the uppercase letter. But still what it says, please enter the valid city name. But as according to the requirement, okay, Chennai is already there. Okay, we have already configured the value Chennai in such a way that whenever the end user is entering Chennai, we need to display what? Welcome to Chennai message. But it is not happening. The logic is failing here. Right? The logic is failing. See, if I enter Hyderabad, okay, the logic is failing again. Okay, so you cannot expect that end user, to understand the city needs to be entered in the lowercase letter, or the city needs to be entered in the uppercase letter. You cannot expect. Okay, end user can enter in his own way. He cannot. He is not a software engineer. You cannot expect the actual requirements, right? So you need to consider this case also. What is that case? The end user can enter the city name in either in uppercase letter or either in lowercase letter. That needs to be taken care by the programmer, not the end user. Okay, if you want to ensure that the end user is entering the right city name, but if you want to ensure that it is not creating any problem, especially the cases, the alphabetical cases. What you have to do? So anyhow you are collecting this information, you are using equals method, right? Do you remember I have given you one method, okay? Equals ignore case method. You can use this method, okay? Whatever the information that was being collected here, okay, no worries, okay? You just ignore the case and do the comparison, okay? Instead of equals method, you can use the equals ignore case method. You can use equals ignore case method. You can use equals ignore case method. Okay, by doing this, what you can do now, the end user can enter in any case. He can enter the city as Chennai, or he can enter the city as Chennai. You will not face any issues. Okay, information is collected to the city variable, right? And this city, the city is collected in the form of uppercase. This uppercase is getting compared with the lowercase Chennai. But what you are doing, you are using equals ignore case method. It means no matter what the case is, the content is valid, okay, then it is valid, no matter how the case is considered, or how the case is collected, right? Or else you can do another thing. You can do what? Have you remember this method, guys? Have you remember this method, the toLowerCase method? You can use this method directly. So instead of changing all this, okay, I can keep it just like that, okay, without making any changes. I can keep it just like that. I can just use the equals method. Right? I can do what? Okay, while collecting the information, I can directly use the toLowerCase method, so that whatever the information that you are collecting from the end user will be converted to lowercase first. Then you can do the actual comparison. So you can make one change here, or else you have to do changes everywhere. Equals ignore case. Either you can do that, you can do this, but this is very easy, isn't it? Okay, what these 3 lines of code is giving it to you, what it is actually giving it to you. Okay, so these 3 lines of code. Okay, the first line, enter your city name. You are giving the information to the end user like this. As soon as you run this code, end user will see enter your city name. Okay, end user is going to enter something like Chennai. It can be uppercase. If a person like me, I prefer to enter the information in the uppercase letter. Okay, I have entered the city as uppercase, right? So this information is collected and stored in the variable of what? Stored in the variable of city variable. But before even storing it in the city variable, you are using what? You are using the toLowerCase method. Okay, so this will basically get converted to the lower cases. So Chennai will become Chennai in lowercase, and this will be stored in the city variable. Okay, now after this line, what you are doing? You are actually doing the conditional check. So first, let us see the first conditional check, right? So I am just telling you how effectively you can write the code by using all these methods. This is how the requirements would be in the real-time application. Right, now you see city.equals Chennai. Of course, the city.equals Chennai, because city is Chennai, right? The variable, the actual data that is stored in the variable city is Chennai itself. You are comparing Chennai with Chennai itself. City.equals. So this equal method is mean for what? The content comparison, right? Chennai. Right? So both are same. So both are in lower cases letter. So it is basically getting converted to. So the if condition will be executed because it will return true. True means this will get executed. So welcome to Chennai. Right? So you have taken care of what? You have taken care. You have assumed that okay, the end user can enter the data either in the uppercase letter or in the lowercase letter. Sometimes some people would be like they will be entering data like okay, CHENNA, they will just try to touch the application, the ethical hackers. Okay, and it should work. For example, CHENN, one is in uppercase and another one is lowercase. So this is how they would prefer to enter. Still, it should work. No matter what, still it should work. The information is validated, no matter how the case is entered. Right? So see, we have taken care of toLowerCase method, and we have taken care of what? We have taken care of equals. We have understood the importance of equals method. Okay. Now let us understand the importance of isEmpty method. isEmpty method. So isEmpty methods, for sometimes, this may also happen. Okay, so when you are asking the end user to enter your city name, the end user will just click on enter. It happens many times without even typing any letter here. He just click on enter. Okay, but after clicking on enter, it is asking to enter the valid city name. Okay, fine. Okay, when the end user is simply clicking on enter, I want to display some other message. I want to do what? I want to display some other message. What is the message that I want to display? If for that I am placing a if condition here, I need to ensure that the end user should not keep the end user should not enter the enter key. I mean, give the enter key, or end user should not give any empty city, or any should not pass any empty string. For that, what I need to the city, I will use the method called isEmpty method. Okay, if the end user is just clicking on the enter key or leaving the information empty, okay, I should display an enter message. I mean, information like I request you to enter the city name. I request you to enter the city name and don't leave it blank. I should pass this message to the end user. Okay, this is the first check. What is the first check? I am keeping a check, and again I am using isEmpty method. The purpose of isEmpty method is to ensure that the end user is not leaving that data empty. End user is not simply clicking the enter button. Okay, now if you see, if the end user is either accidentally or intentionally clicking on enter button, okay, this information will be passed to the end user. Are you getting this? So you can utilize the isEmpty method in this way for this particular scenario, or for this particular criteria, or for this particular requirement, right? So isEmpty method is also taken care, right? isEmpty method is taken care. Okay, let's understand about the toUpperCase how we can use this toUpperCase method. Okay, so far we are we are fetching the information from the end user, right? That information is getting converted to lowercase, but while printing the data, I want to highlight this Chennai, or I want to highlight the Hyderabad, or I want to highlight the Bengaluru in uppercase. For that, what I can do, I can just say welcome to, I can just use plus city.toUpperCase. Okay, you will collect the information in the lowercase or uppercase, whatever it is, but the welcome message that is going to get displayed to the end user will always be in the uppercase. Let us understand this. Okay, welcome to Hyderabad. Hyderabad should be, I want this Hyderabad, I want all the cities to be in the uppercase because they are cities, isn't it? You need to highlight that to the end user. Okay, so let us run this. If the person is entering the city, right, Chennai. Okay, welcome to Chennai. You are collecting information and you are converting it to the lowercase, and after, while printing it, you are converting it to the uppercase. So this is how you can full-fledgedly utilize what toUpperCase method, right? And again, welcome to city Hyderabad. Enter our city name Hyderabad. So Hyderabad is getting displayed in the console as Hyderabad, right? So sometimes the people, they don't know how to what we call it as, they don't know the spelling of the cities. It happens. Right? If you want to ensure that the end user is not facing any issues with the spelling, you can write that message here. Enter your city name, which is Chennai, Hyderabad, or Bengaluru. Okay, we can do this also, no issues. It depends upon the application requirement. You can optimize, you can develop the application step by step. Okay, based upon the bug that you see, based upon the bug that you see from the end user's perspective, you can optimize your application, right? So what are the methods that we can utilize further, right? See, you can also use this index of method. You can also use this index of method by giving the information like the city code, something like that. Okay, I can optimize this. Okay, I can further optimize this. If the person is entering the city as Chennai, I can say that welcome to Chennai, your city code is, I can give the code as what? By using the this method. We will not use this method index of character at. We will use this method character at index I. Okay, I want to use city dot character at index 0. Now let us understand how it will work. Okay, enter your city name, which is Chennai, Hyderabad or Bengaluru. Okay, I want to enter the Chennai. Okay, welcome to Chennai. Your city code is C. Okay, but I want to print this in the uppercase. So what I can do after this, I can do what? To uppercase. I can use toUpperCase method. So this is how what I'm trying to say is this is not the full-fledged application that we are developing. So this is how you will do the manipulations when you want to deal with the strings. When you actually want to deal with the strings, that is how you actually do the manipulation. So this is a character, so this is not a string, right? So you cannot convert it to uppercase. So what can we do? City, okay, city dot, you can convert it, you can convert the string to uppercase, then you can find the character at 0. Let me run this code. Okay, enter your city name Chennai. Welcome to Chennai. Your city code is C. Like this, if the person is entering the city as Hyderabad, it should return me the first character. And where I can do this? Okay, I can use this. Okay, you take a pen and paper and you just try to work it out. Okay, and you can utilize, you can ensure that you are utilizing all the methods that we have just discussed. Okay, now you see the further optimization. Okay, when the person is entering the city as Hyderabad. Welcome to Hyderabad. Your city code is H. Okay, we are returning the first letter of the city. Okay, if the person is entering the city as Bengaluru, welcome to Bengaluru. Your city code is B. You can also keep spaces here. Okay. Right. So this is how you actually optimize the code. You actually use the methods of string manipulations. What else we can do? We can also use the concat method. We can also use the concat method, and we can also, I think this is not required. That's it. Okay, but there is another problem that you will face. Very, very important problem that you will face. Okay, if the end user, you cannot expect that the end user is going to directly start entering the city name. Okay, if you are asking the end user to enter the city name, you cannot expect that end user that we will enter Chennai directly. Sometimes what he will do, you know, the end user, what he is going to do, he will give you a space. Okay, in the beginning he will add some spaces, and in the end he will add some spaces. In Java string, each and every spaces is considered as a character. For giving a space, it is not just a space. There is a character here. There is a space character. In the beginning, if there is a space, in the end there is a space. It means your code will fail. Okay, let us check that. Let's actually check how you can make this code to fail. Okay, see, you are giving the clear-cut information. Enter your city name, which is Chennai or Hyderabad or Bengaluru. Okay, the person has chosen to enter the city name Chennai, but he's giving one space and he's giving Chennai. Okay, he's asking to enter the valid city, but he has entered the valid city. You cannot expect the end user that he should give the Chennai without spaces. You cannot give such instructions. He may do mistake. You cannot expect that end user has to be a software end user to use your application. The layman, okay, the application should be developed in such a way that even the layman should understand, right? So how we can handle this? Okay, for example, and again, if the end user is giving 2 spaces and is entering Chennai, and again is giving 2 spaces, your application is failing. It is asking you to enter the valid city name. Okay, to avoid this, there is a method called the trim method. Very, very important method. What is the method? Trim method. What is the purpose of this method? When you call trim method on top of a particular string. For example, let us take our own example. Okay, so in our example, the person is entering Chennai with some spaces. Okay, and when you call trim method on top of this string, what the trim method is going to do, the trim method will remove all the spaces in the beginning. Okay, so in the beginning there will be some space that will be removed, and after the string, okay, there will be some space that will also be removed. The spaces will be removed and only the remaining characters will be considered apart from the spaces. Okay, it will remove spaces in the beginning of the string. It will remove spaces in the end of the string. Are you getting it? For example, we want to find the length of the string. Let me take this code. Okay, so let me use this trim method. Okay, city, you are collecting information, city, and you are converting it to lowercase, and you are using what? You are using the trim method. When you use the trim method, it will remove spaces in the beginning as well as it will remove spaces in the end. If I run this code once again, okay, person is entering city, like he's giving spaces, okay, and he's giving Chennai, and he has given a kilometer of spaces. Okay, so the spaces will be removed. Okay, this many spaces he has given in the end, and this many spaces he has given in the bindling. So in Java, each and every space is considered as a character. If that is getting considered as a character, okay, combinedly, so this is the length of the character. He has given Chennai, but before Chennai he has given some spaces, and after Chennai he has given many number of spaces. Okay, this Chennai is not equal to the Chennai that you have placed here. No, both are not same, both are different. Right? So what you do to avoid this, to deal with this, you will use the trim method. What trim method is going to do? It will remove the spaces in the end, it will remove the spaces in the beginning, and the remaining string will be considered. Okay, and the manipulation will be performed on that. That is importance of trim method. So what did I just say? Trim method is going to remove spaces in the beginning of the string as well as in the end of the string. Are you getting this? So whenever you are designing a code like this, you will be using all these methods. Most of the methods would be from these 13 methods, guys. Apart from this, I don't think you will encounter any other methods, but if you're still encountering, for you it is going to be very easy to learn. Right? And the 14th method is what? Trim method. Trim, public string trim. It will give you the string and it will remove the spaces. Are you trying to understand what I'm trying to convey? Hello? Hello? Am I audible? I was speaking. Am I speaking on mute? Am I speaking on mute till now? Just want to confirm. I have my voice is clear, right? Till now. Any confusion you have? Have you understood this point? Okay. Okay, then I was thinking that I was speaking on mute. Okay, so these are the importance of whenever you are developing and whenever you are doing a string manipulation, so this many methods you encounter, and you will validate strings in such a way that it will fulfill the requirements. Okay, you make use of all these methods actually in the even in the real-time applications, when you are, especially when you are dealing with the string. Right now my screen is not visible. Is it visible now? Okay, then thank you, Samyukta. Okay, so these many things you need to take care. Now there are some popular interview questions on top of strings. We are not yet done with the string, guys. So one of the interview questions is that I want to introduce it to you. Stay focused here. And the interview question is, okay, so Let me create a string object. String s1 equal to new string. Okay, this is case 1. This is new string Java. Okay, so we are trying to understand more about the immutability. So I have just given you some introduction, and we have solved so many problems on top of Java immutability. And also there are some loopholes that I need to discuss. Not loopholes actually. There are some points that you need to remember. Okay, that because it will create a lot of confusion. I will clear that confusion now. The interview question could be like they will give you a string. Okay, they will give you a string like this, and after this they do what? They take another string variable, string s2 equal to, they convert the string to uppercase. Okay, and they take string variable s3, they convert the s1 to lowercase. Okay, and they ask you to find system.out.println s1 double equal to s2, system.out.println s1 double equal to s3. Okay, this is the case 1. Okay, you need to give answers. Okay, the answers. Okay, this is the system.out.println statement. What could be the answers? Okay, ideally we get confusion here because every time whenever an object is created for the string with the help of new keyword, there will be area called eep area. There will also be an area called scp area. Right? So this first line is going to do what? An object will be created. Yes or no? An object will be created here, right? And this is going to be what? Java. And the reference variable name is what? S1. At the same time, for the future reference, for the reusability purpose, okay, the same object will be created in the eep area, and there will be no reference. Internally, JVM is going to give the reference for this. Maybe you don't have any issues with this first line. Okay, and look at the second line. Right, second line, what the second line is doing here? Actually, what the second line is doing here? Second line is doing what? It is taking the data in s1 reference variable. Okay, what is the data in s1? Java is the data, right? And it is converting that to uppercase. Runtime operation. Runtime operation, and no string literal is involved. Runtime operation, right? So what does the word immutability says? Every time whenever you are making any changes, that changes has to happen on the new object. A new object will be created, right? And s1 dot to uppercase means this Java becomes uppercase Java. Okay, and this is going to have the reference variable as what? S2. Runtime operation. For every runtime operation, remember, for every runtime operation, when you are calling any method on top of any reference variable, that is a runtime operation. For every runtime operation, the object will be created in the eep area. If you're not passing any literal here, so there is no scope for scp here. Okay, now look at this. Now you are doing what? You are creating a reference variable s3. Again, you are doing s1 dot to lowercase. Right? S1 is Java, and you are converting that to lowercase. Convert the Java which is already in lowercase to lowercase. What would be the output? Is there any changes in the resultant value? Do you think there will be any change in the resultant value? Remember this. If you're trying to make, do some changes for the string variable, right? If the resultant value is same as the original value, okay, this s1 dot to lowercase means you are using s1 reference variable, and the content inside the s1 is Java. You are trying to convert this Java to lowercase. It's lowercase. Actually, the Java itself is a lowercase. The content itself is solid lowercase. You're trying to convert that to lowercase. Anyhow, the resultant value is going to be same as the original value. If that is the case, the reusability come into the picture. No new object will be created. No new object will be created, and this will also be referred by the reference variable will be given here s3. S3 will be referring to the same object because of reusability. This is same for eep area as well as this is same for scp area. Okay, any runtime change, when you are trying to do any changes, when you are trying to make any changes for the string, and if the resultant value is same as the original value, no new object will be created. The existing object will be reused. right? Now what is the value that I want to print? S1 double equal to S2. So S1 and S2 both are pointing to different object. The first value has to be what? It has to be given, it should give me false. The second case, S2 double equal to S3, S1 double equal to S3, both are pointing to the same reference, so it has to return me true. Right, let me execute this. So I will give you this program. Okay, try to study. Try to practice this. I will directly paste it in the description. Okay, now the case one. Let me remove all this, not required, and yes. So string S1 equal to new string Java, right? String. Now I am taking S2. I'm using S1.toUpperCase. Okay. String S3 equal to S1.toLowerCase. System.out.println S1 double equal to S2. I am trying to compare it by using the double equal to operator. The double equal to operator will do the reference comparison, not the content comparison. We know this already, right? So we have the same thing here, S1 double equal to S2, S1 double equal to S3. If I run this piece of code, the first is false, second is true. Why first is false, why second is true? According to the reference comparison, S1 and S2 both are pointing to different objects. Both has different memory addresses, pointing different objects. So different objects means false, right? S1 is pointing to this and S2 is pointing to this. Both are pointing to different. Okay, and when you do the comparison with S1 and S3, both are pointing to the same reference, so that's why it is true, right? But every time I want to repeat this code once again. Whenever due to the runtime operation, if there is no changes in the resultant value, if the resultant value is same as the original value, no new object will be created. It is same for heap area, it is same for SCP area, right? If there is any existing object, that will be reused, because string class is mainly for reusability. And what are the keywords that I said? Immutability. Immutability will come into picture, okay, when the changes are different. Okay, when the resultant value is different than the original value, then immutability come into the picture, right? And when the resultant value is same as the original value, reusability will come into the picture. That is what I have said, right? You go back and see, I was like telling you, okay, see, reusability and immutability. Okay, advantage and importance of string constant pool. Even this is same for string constant pool, as well as it is same for heap area also, right? So let us understand one more example. The second example is like, so I think this example will give you some insights. Okay, now what is it? String S1 equal to Java I want to take. Okay, now you see this is directly literal. String S2 equal to, I want to use S1 dot toString. Okay, string S3 equal to S2 dot toLowerCase. String S4 equal to S2 dot toUpperCase. Very good case study. Okay, let us understand what are the things that is going to happen behind the scenes because of this code, right? And I want to see what I want to try to find S1. I want to compare S1 double equal to S2. I want to check for S1 double equal to S3, S1 double equal to S4. What could be the result, right? Same thing. Okay, there are two areas for the string. One is what? The heap area. Second one is what? SCP area. Heap area, you have what? SCP area, right? So this is a literal, right? The first line itself is a literal. For every literal, SCP area will come into the picture, and you are going to what is the value that you are going to store? Java is the value, content I can say, right? And this is what S1, isn't it? This is the reference for this particular content or the particular object, right? On the second line, focus on the second line, right? So S1 dot toString, okay, you are using, you are giving a reference variable S2 and you are applying S1 dot toString, you are using toString method. But actually, because of this toString method, there will be no changes in the object. The object is going to be same because of the toString method. It is going to be same as the S1. Since there are no changes, right, the content is going to remain the same, right? So this S2 will also be pointing here, isn't it? Now see, now the third line, okay, S3. Again, you are taking another reference variable S3, and this time you are doing what? S2 dot lowercase. What is the value inside S2? S2 is holding Java. Java is completely in lowercase letter. Again, you are trying to convert this to lowercase letter. So the original value is same as the resultant value. No changes. So again, S3 will be referring here. Okay, now fourth line, focus here. Now fourth line, S2 dot to uppercase. To uppercase means content has to get changed, right? Content has to get changed, okay? Whenever the content is changed and whenever this is the runtime operation, everything is runtime operation, but there is no impact on the content. So this has no impact on the content, so it is reusing. This has no impact on the content, this is reusing, but this has impact on the content. And this is also runtime operation. So because of every runtime operation, a new object will be created in the heap area. And what is the thing that we are doing here? To uppercase, okay? The Java becomes what? Java. Okay, this is going to be referred to as what? S4. Right, the first three lines, you may be asking me why this Java is, why for S2 there is no object created in the heap area because of runtime. Why or for? Because it is the resultant value same as the original value, that is reusability is happening here. Okay, the resultant value is not same as the original value, immutable is coming into the picture and the new object is getting created. New object will always get created in the heap area because of runtime operation. So what is the comparison that I am doing? S1 double equal to S2 to return true because both are pointing to same reference. True. S1 double equal to S3, it should return true, right? And S1 double equal to S4, it should return what? False. Are we getting the same thing? Let us try to understand this in the code. Okay, so here you have Java, right? And S2. So S1 dot toString method you are using. Okay, see, you might be thinking, if I call toString method, and if you see, if I try to print the reference variable of S2, right, Java is Java. So this S2 is Java also, right? So that's why there will be no impact on the content. So again, string S3 equal to S2 dot to lowercase. Okay, string S4 equal to S2 dot to uppercase. Okay, System.out.println S1 double equal to S2. Okay, System.out.println S1 double equal to S3. Reference comparison. System.out.println S1 double equal to S2. Okay, what is the value that we are getting? True, true, false. We should get the same thing if the analogy is correct. True, true, false. Okay, remember these two keywords. What is it? Reusability and immutability. If the resultant value is same as the original value, then existing object will be reused. If not, the new object will be created in the heap area. Right? Practice all the questions which I have just explained till today. These things will be very clear if you give some efforts from your end, guys. So that's all for the today's class, and if you have any questions, you can